Hey everyone, my name is Adam and I work for a small indie game studio based near Montreal called Artifice Studio. You can see our beautiful team right here. We're pretty excited to show you a small preview of the game we've been working on for quite a while now. It's our first game and it's called Sang-Froid, Tales of Werewolves. The game is set during the winter of 1858 in Lower Canada. Our story is actually co-written with best-selling author Brian Perrault. To keep it short, you play one of the two O'Carroll brothers, either Joe or Jack. Every night, these two lumberjacks must protect their sister Josephine from the devil who's trying to kidnap her. So the game is split into two phases. Basically, during the day, which is the first phase, you have to prepare your defenses for the upcoming night, which is the second. You plan your strategy by placing all kinds of traps in the surrounding forest. You can also visit the villages to go buy items or new weapons to help you fight back your enemies. Then, when night falls, you must hunt down all the wolves, werewolves, and other creatures using the different traps you've placed during the day. Remember, in Sang-Froid, the enemies are way stronger than the hero, so you really have to use your wit and plan a good strategy during the day in order to have a fighting chance. Alright, let's see how the game really plays out. As you can see now, this is the day phase. Just a quick note here, we're still working on improving some of the graphics and animations, so you might see some glitches during combat, but don't worry about it. This video is really just about showing you the gameplay mechanics. So let's get started. At the bottom of the screen, I've got my traps. And at the right, I've got my action points. Every time I place a trap, it uses some action points. And depending on the trap, some money too. When I'm out of action points, I can't place any more traps. The night we've chosen to show you in this video is almost halfway through the game, so it's no tutorial, but more like a level you'll encounter around 4 to 5 hours of gameplay. Now, I've got 4 buildings to defend. My cabin, my barn, the church, and the mill. If one of the buildings is destroyed, I fail the night. Now let's see who's attacking us tonight. We've got 2 werewolves, 2 grand wolves, and 4 wolves. Now if I click on the werewolf card, I can see that they're going to attack my barn. Now they should just follow this path, but in Sang-Froid, enemies can detect you in a few different ways, just like you would expect. So if the werewolves hear or smell me, they'll come right after me. So let's start with the wolves. I'm going to try and get rid of them as fast as possible, so I can take on the 2 werewolves before they reach my barn. For that, I'll use some wolf traps and a bonfire. Wolf traps have 2 main uses. They can kill a wolf instantly, and they can also slow down larger creatures like werewolves. As for the bonfire, in our game, most enemies are cautious around large sources of light. When my hero is close to a lit bonfire, the enemies will delay their attack for a while, allowing me to reload my rifle or replenish my stamina. That should be enough for the wolves. Next, I'm going to try and lure those 2 werewolves underneath the net trap. This trap is environment based, and for it to be set up, it needs to be surrounded by trees. Alright, let's check out wave 2. We've got a Wendigo attacking the church, but we've also got a Mycan shaman and 2 Mycan warriors attacking the church along with the Wendigo. We've also got 4 more werewolves and 2 will-o'-the-wisps attacking the sawmill. Okay, let's start off with the sawmill. First, I'll need to buy some time to get over there, so I'll slow down the werewolves with some bait. While they're busy eating it, I should have enough time to get there before they start their attack. But 4 werewolves is really strong, so I'll try to divide the pack by placing 2 wolf traps. I'll also place this explosive barrel for maximum damage. For the will-o'-the-wisps, I'll build a wayside cross. This does holy damage over time to every diabolical creature in the surrounding area. Now, let's check out the church. The Mycans are a little more civilized than your typical werewolf, so they don't need bait. And the only way to slow them down is by using firewalls. So, I'm going to set up a few barricades. This way, they have to take the long way around to reach the church. As for the Wendigo coming from the south, although he's really strong and has a ton of HP, he happens to be very slow. So I should be able to reach the church in time. But just to be on the safe side, instead of running from the mill all the way to the church, I'll just build a set of watchtowers. These 2 are connected by a zip line. That way, I can move fast between 2 different parts of my forest. Alright, to fight them off, I can use 2 more wolf traps and a ballista for the Wendigo. I'm also going to plant a sacred tree, which is really effective against Mycan warriors. Alright, good. So my defense is done, but I still have some action points left. Remember, you are still a lumberjack after all, So you can use those points to chop down some lumber and sell it for some quick cash. Now let's head to Wolvesvale and buy some stuff. First off, let's go see Sister Rosamie so she can bless my weapons. In Sang-Froid, all diabolical creatures like werewolves are almost totally immune to normal weapons, so you really need to bless your bullets and your axes in order to really do some damage. Now, I'm going to visit the hotel. As you can see, we focus a lot on the lore and history of our world, and all these drinks are based in reality, and each one of them has a different use. During the night you drink them. Some make you feel more alive, or that you can keep running forever. Others will fill you with a burning rage and make you feel invincible. One last stop, the general store. Here, you can buy some clothing, guns, and bullets. Like I said before, we did our research, and all of these are historical guns. We got a Remington, which is double-barreled, the Enfield musket rifle, but I've got to buy my favorite, the Whitworth, which is good for headshots. Okay, now I just need to equip my new gun. This is the inventory page. Here, we can choose which items we want to bring with us during the night. We can also access our skill tree from here. Most of these skills are either combat or trap based. For instance, there's a skill that turns all of my bait into poisonous bait. But, I'm going to take the Bloodthirst skill, which gives me back a little bit of health every time I kill an enemy. That's it. It's time to start the night, guys. Let's test out our strategy. Alright, so here's the night. You always start off near your cabin. As you can see, there's a little mini-map top left. Got your health and your inventory at the bottom. First things first, let's light this bonfire. Get prepared for the wolves. I think I'm going to use my gun to ambush one of them. It's always a good strategy because it gets rid of one before they all get here. Let's try and kill this before his friends get here. Alright, I was able to do that, but now there's too many, so let's retreat back to the bonfire. Now remember what I said before. Enemies are very cautious around large sources of light, so they won't attack me right away. You can see this with the bar at the bottom. That's your fear factor. Notice how the two icons are far apart? If they touch, the enemies aren't afraid of you anymore. The bonfire doesn't last forever, but thank God for that wolf trap, because it instantly killed that wolf. Easy kill right there. Let's finish off this last wolf. Pretty easy. Now for the werewolves, you can see them running in the distance. Alright, let's reload my gun. Remember, this is 1858, so it takes a little while. Now I'm going to try and lure them underneath that net trap I set. So I'm going to use some Native American magic to turn the wind. As you can see on the mini-map, the wind is indicated by this green little cone. They detected me. That icon on the ground shows the last area they detected me. So now they're going to go over there, and since they can't find me, they're going to wait around. Oh, there we go, crush them. Now that they're nice and tender, I'm just going to finish them off pretty quick. There we go, not so bad. Now for wave 2. So I have to run all the way to my mill, so I'm going to just drink this little liquor, and it's going to give me a speed boost. Now everyone really fast. So wave 2 just started. Pretty close to my mill now. I think I'm going to reload my gun with one of the holy bullets. Remember, normal bullets don't really do much to werewolves, so you got to manage your bullets pretty good. Now that that's done, let's head over. I remember the bait I put, so I'm going to wait for them to all start eating it. This way I can approach them without really getting detected. Alright, here we go. There we go, headshot. Up there, just like I planned. Stagger them a little bit with the bear traps. Barrel, dodge. There we go. Not bad. Alright, let's light the wayside cross now. This does holy damage to all diabolical creatures, remember. Oh, okay, here comes the Will-o'-the-Wisp. These things are really annoying. They shoot fireballs at you when you're attacking other enemies, and they can also teleport and go into the ground and start healing, so you have to watch out. They're dead, but only thanks to my wayside cross. Let's reload another bullet, but this time I'm going to put a silver one in because the next enemies are all mystical ones, like the Mycans and the Wendigos. So, zipline, really fast. Always good. Let's head down and start my strategy for the second part of Wave 2. So here, I'm going to do another Native American dance to light or to activate my tree. Now that that's done. Alright, so now I'm going to shout at them. Unlike the wind, this is in a large area around me, so it lures everyone instead of just in a little cone. So here comes the Wendigo. Ah, no! I just missed it with my ballista. This is not part of the plan. It's gonna be a little harder than I thought. At least my sacred tree is working out. Alright, let's see if I can salvage this situation. I still got a lot of potions, so... Dodge around, pop a potion. That was one of the Wendigo's special abilities. He just froze me. I was able to get out of it, but not before I got attacked. My sacred tree is still going strong, so that's pretty good. Alright, that's one of the shaman spells now. Fortunately, I used my rage ability, and that makes me invincible. Okay, now for the Wendigo. I'm gonna try and get away from this guy, but I'm running out of stamina, so I think I'm gonna just come up here. When I'm up here, if he knows I'm here, he's gonna try and attack my watchtower, so I have to hurry up. I was able to reload my gun and drink a rage potion, but there goes my watchtower. So much for that. I'll try and finish this fight, but I just want to take this time to thank you guys for checking out our game. We're really proud of it, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Check out our website, sang-froid.com. Check us out. There's a lot more to this game than what we just showed. There's more weapons, more enemies. This is just a fraction of it. I mean, we didn't even show the story, and there's a ton of it. So check it out. You won't be disappointed. Alright, I think I have a fighting chance here. Come back to the fight. Okay, here we go. I think he's almost dead. A few more hits. There we go. Finally. See you guys. Thanks for watching. Take care.
L'histoire que je vais vous raconter, c'est loin d'être un conte de fées. Même si ça parle de loup-garou, du diable, puis pire encore. Ça m'est arrivé, vrai comme je vous parle, au mois de décembre 58, près du village maudit de Val-au-Loup, sur les bords du Saguenay.
Watchtowers. Placed in pairs, the watchtowers come equipped with a zip line, allowing you to travel quickly from one to the other. To get on top of a watchtower, press E. To use the zip line, walk up to it and press E. If you happen to be detected on top of a watchtower, your enemies will try to destroy it. Fear factor. When you're in combat, the fear factor meter appears at the bottom of the screen. This meter represents the time you have before your enemy's next attack. The more your enemies fear you, the greater the distance between both icons and the more time you have before the next attack. However, enemies aren't as afraid of you with each passing second, in which case the icons start to get closer. When your enemy's fear factor is equal to yours, the icons touch and your enemies attack. If you're running low on stamina, it's better to keep your distance and let it recharge. Be careful though, even if you have a higher fear factor, enemies will still attack you if you're too close. Bonfires. To light a bonfire, press E while close by. If you're standing near a lit bonfire, it will significantly increase your fear factor. If you move too far away, you lose the bonus. This icon shows how much time is left before the bonfire goes out. Pack management. When you attack multiple enemies at the same time, your chances for survival drop. So it's important to know how to intimidate your enemies to space out their attacks. There are 2 ways to intimidate your enemies. First, every time an enemy takes damage, its fear factor decreases. Second, the icon at the bottom of the screen is one of your special abilities, the intimidating shout. Press the Q key to shout and intimidate your enemies. Don't forget, the distance between the 2 icons is how long you have before the next attack. Take this time to reload your gun and let your stamina recharge. Lastly, the paw symbol over an enemy's head means it's next to attack. Always pay attention to them. Firewalls. Use firewalls to block paths in the forest, forcing enemies to take an alternate route. If you block every available path with firewalls, enemies will sacrifice some health and go through the walls anyways. If one enemy does this, it breaks the wall, allowing others through unharmed. The Wayside Cross. To activate the Wayside Cross, press E to start praying. Once activated, the Wayside Cross lasts for 1 minute and does damage over time in a large area to all diabolic creatures. Detection. Enemies can see and hear you. If an enemy gets too close to you, it will see you and attack. The circle around your hero on the minimap represents the sound he makes. When you move, you make more noise. An enemy will detect you if its dot on the minimap enters your circle. Certain actions like firing your rifle or shouting create a lot of noise. When an enemy hears you, a marker will appear at your feet. This marker represents the last place an enemy heard you. All enemies that heard you will go to this marker. If the enemy does not see or hear you again, he will leave the area after a short period of time, and the marker disappears. The dashed circle on your mini-map is the range of your shout. Use this ability to lure enemies under your traps. Bait. Bait will delay the enemies who eat it. This icon shows how much time is left before the bait is finished. The more enemies there are eating it, the faster it will finish. Wind. Always keep the wind's direction in mind when you're planning out your strategies. Enemies not only detect you by the noise you make, they can also track your scent. Your scent carried by the wind is shown as a cone on your minimap. Enemies that smell you will start to track you. Enemies will not stop tracking you as long as they can smell you. The Sacred Tree. To charge the Sacred Tree, you must perform a magical tribal dance. This icon shows how many charges are remaining. The Sacred Tree will automatically attack nearby enemies until its charges run out. The Sacred Tree is particularly...
Hey dum taddy dum taddy da da dum taddy da di day da di dum da dum taddy dum taddy da di day dum dum taddy da di dum dum. Hey dum.
L'histoire que je vais vous raconter, c'est loin d'être un conte de fées. Même si ça parle de loup-garou, du diable, puis pire encore. Ça m'est arrivé, vrai comme je vous parle, au mois de décembre 58, près du village maudit de Val-au-Loup, sur les bords du Saguenay.
Dum tadidum 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 tadam tadidum tadidum dum tadidum tadam. Edam tadidum 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 tadam tadidum tadidum tadam. Dum diddly dum dum taddy daddy day dum dum taddy daddy dum dum diddly dum dum taddy daddy day dum dum taddy daddy dum dum. Dum taddy dum taddy daddy dum taddy daddy day daddy dum dum diddly dum taddy daddy day dum dum taddy daddy dum dum. Dum taddy dum taddy daddy dum taddy daddy day daddy dum dum diddly dum taddy daddy day dum dum taddy daddy dum dum. Dum diddly dum taddy daddy day dum dum taddy daddy dum dum diddly dum taddy daddy day dum dum taddy daddy dum dum. Dum taddy dum taddy daddy dum taddy daddy day daddy dum dum diddly dum taddy daddy day dum dum taddy daddy dum dum. Dum taddy dum taddy daddy dum taddy daddy day daddy dum dum diddly dum taddy daddy day dum dum taddy daddy dum dum. Dum diddly dum taddy daddy day dum dum taddy daddy dum dum. Daddy dum dum daddy daddy dum dum. Hey dum daddy dum daddy daddy dum daddy 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 dum dum daddy dum daddy daddy dum dum daddy daddy dum dum. Hey dum daddy dum daddy daddy dum daddy 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 dum dum daddy dum daddy daddy dum dum daddy daddy dum dum. Daddy daddy dum dum daddy daddy dum daddy dum daddy dum dum daddy daddy dum dum. Hey dum daddy dum daddy